Good evening. Good evening. I think I am live. Yes, I am. Right. Okay. So here we go. Good evening again. First things first. I gotta get this open. Get some whiskey in. Just do this. My Monday night top up of whiskey. Oh dear, itchy nose. At the moment, I've got several productions underway, but the biggest one, the one that's taking up most of my time, is Only Death Can Save Us 2. And you can see on the screen at the moment one of the penciled pages, and this is page 18. And it's preceded by the page 17, that I'm going to start working up tonight. Obviously, it's not going to get done in an hour, so I'm just going to sit and sketch. I've done the thumbnail, as you can see, the very lightweight sketch of it. And so what I've got to do is put the detail in, as it were. I've got some music on in the background. ASMR, I think that's the term. Just turn it down a little bit. Some people were suggesting I should do that, so I have done that in the past, but here you go. This is all royalty free, by the way, just in case there's any algorithms out there listening to it. And so I'll get on. I'll come back and check the chat in a minute. So just for the moment, I'll get on and get going. So these guys are dropping in behind Chrissy. They're surprising her. So first things first, I'm just going to drop in some figure drawing just to make sure I get this right. It's pretty close, but it's just a sketch. So. Been drawing on digitally and inking traditionally on a lot of the stuff I've been doing recently, and it's working out nicely. I get exactly what I want out of the pencils. Makes life a bit easier. Don't have to do any photocopying or printing out of stuff, enlarging and what have you on a light box. I can do it all on layers. So it works nicely. And what I haven't done yet is I haven't taken a sip of my whiskey. That's so nice. So I'm just getting the proportions right here, because in the sketch, because literally it's just a sketch, the proportions aren't quite right. So those proportions are better. She's got a coat on anyway, so I'm not going to get too involved in any of the figure drawing here. It's just that I've got the correct body. And the hood's up there, so she's got this hood. And it's like an A-line coat with a split to the middle where the buttons are. So we're looking down, so there's a little bit of curvature in it. But yeah, I think that foot probably needs to this kind of stuff is good as well. So, for instance, I spotted something there that wasn't quite right with the way the leg was. And instead of rubbing it out and redrawing it, I can kind of twist around what I've already drawn to get it just the way I want it. That's the magic of drawing digitally. It just helps with time. It makes it makes the whole process a bit quicker. So this guy's coming in behind her. Mostly silhouette, that's to be said, because you get a full reveal underneath. Actually, no, I'm going to go with, because there's two of these guys coming down, so I'm going to go with the brain in a jar, which is this guy here. There we go. That's slightly too big, I think. There you go. That's better. I was watching Vigil on the telly. So it's by the people that wrote Bodyguard, I think, and Line of Duty. My wife was saying, come watch it with me. So I watched a few episodes. It's quite good, actually. Quite good. So what I'm doing here is as you can see underneath, it's the thumbnail underneath. The other good thing about doing digital pencils is that you can effectively make your thumbnails on the same piece of artwork. You don't have to blow it up or do anything like that. And I just have all the artwork, all the files ready. And I just, draw them up at sort of 25% their size or whatever, and that works for me. And then I can just blow them straight up to the size they should be whilst, when it comes to drawing them finished drawings. But this isn't quite all the way up, and all I'm doing is like another layer. So you've got like this really rough layer, and then again like the rough figure drawing and any blocks of shapes, and then I can fill in the detail. Just take a quick look at, because I did this one first to make sure I got the detail right, so I can see the way I decided to put them together. Within the book, a lot of these sort of cyborgs and there's sort of some of them are part human, some of them are part imp or minion or whatever they are. I've forgotten what they were called. But the pointy-eared bad guys, and so they're being used in a certain way. I don't want to give away any of the plot as to why, because it's quite good fun. But the point being is that they're all quite ragtag and they're all a bit different. You can actually, if I open up the cover, you'll be able to see that from the cover. I'm just now waiting on the colours for the cover. So there you go. This is the cover. Yeah. So you can see they're all slightly different, and it's like one of those dog things, one of the rippers. That's been kind of put into a big body. Some of them are in like fluid-filled helmets. Some of them are just linked up to the machinery. So it's kind of been put together, sort of a bit haphazardly from the materials that were available, and that's all part of the story. All right, Darren, thank you very much for turning up. Hey, Bad Ham, good to see you. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you. So that's kind of what's going on with those guys. So that's why these two are not identical. They don't look the same, and why they've got bits of flesh and bits of machinery. So that, whoops, wrong way. So it's the left hand that's the electrical system. So I don't need to have too much detail in this because, like I say, most of it's going to be in silhouette. It's the bit down the bottom that's going to need more work on it. So that's going to need a size change as well because they're much bigger than her. So I pull that out, put that in. And take her down in size. That works a bit better, I think. So, like I say, a lot of this will be in silhouette. You'll see through the top there, and the outside bits will be highlighted. And I may swap that around, actually. I think I might swap the two of them to look the other way. So he's actually coming into one side. And on the other side of her is this guy at the bottom. And she's turning her head towards him. Oops, wrong way again. His bionic eye is on the left. So that'll have a little dot in it. Again, mostly silhouette, if not completely silhouette. From there, just get to see a bit of his ear. So they'll all be black in there. And then just get into her face. So she's turning. So her eyes will be looking over to him. She's shocked. But as you can see on the next page, she ain't taking no shit. She's not happy about them being there. You'll see again whereabouts she is and whereabouts this scene takes place, and why, part of the reasons for her reaction, as against just a, oh no, the bad guys are here. She's just really peed at them. So, as I said, that cover's done now, inked up, and it's with Mike, and he's promised me it should be with me today. But obviously he's 9 hours behind me, so I probably won't get it till the morning. But as soon as I have it, I'll be making the sign up page live for the second book, and we'll see what goes on from there. The most important thing is to get the campaign page done for the start of October. That's what I'm focusing on from the campaign perspective, rather than the sign up page. But I think it's a good idea to have one and add to any email list that I've got. Again, just getting some rough anatomy in, breaking it down, making sure I've got that right before I go full ahead into final pencils. Of course, as ever, as soon as I've got this layer, this part right, that I've got all the underpinning correct for the way I want it to look, I'll flip it over and draw some of it the wrong way around, and then flip it once again and check it again. It sounds like it's really time consuming, but like I was saying, with digital pencils, it's actually really, really quick compared to the way that I used to pencil. So she's turning quite fast here, and the hood is kind of slipping down. There. But part of it slipping down is because she's got quite a mane of hair, and that's kind of pushed it as she's turned really quickly. And her hair is also kind of got a mind of its own. It's just the way that I envisaged her once she got her powers. And she has several white strikes of hair that are very visible and punctuate the rest of her hair. And then her hair is quite sort of flowing. I imagined her to always look like she was underneath the water. So it was kind of always in flux. Her hair was always in flux. So that's why she kind of put the hood on in the particular situation she was in. The hood helped. So that's it works. Just need a hand in here. So just put in the rough dimensions of where the hand is going to go. because it's come up because she's folded her arms and then come up. And then I'll get involved in this young man. I think probably what I'll do is I'll take it down just so I can see the thing a little bit more overall. Save that there. Oh, thank you. I'm always amazed that people want to watch. So this is like a bastardized imp. His head may be just a little bit too big there because he's got a really big body, and he's just had the imp head kind of propped up on atop this mechanical bionic body. That's something else I'm going to have to open up is the cover from issue 4, Pharaoh Comics. Ooh. So that I can see how I designed. Oh, that is on the other side. Silly me. I'll have to change that. Where am I? Yeah, I need to get the eye on the other side there. Easily done. So I can take that out. I can go back to my sketch was correct. This is fairly simple. I can just this is another example of having great having the pencils so easily changed right the way down to the way the face is pointing. Great. Just that would have just been a pain in the backside if I was drawing that on board with a pencil rather than this. Right, so they've got short noses, these imps, so it's they're quite top heavy in the facial department. Okay, it's got a nasty evil grin going on. He's thinking this is going to be easy, and it starts off fairly easy because, as you can see in the next page, his mate's got something to electrocute her, or whatever that energy is. Probably not just straight electricity, because they're taking her away somewhere. Again, you'll get to see all that in the book. I think Rick has done a fantastic job of putting together my my notes on where I wanted the thing to go, where I wanted the story to go. Typically I'll write notes on where I see the major part, the plot points, also little visual bits that I think I'd really like to put in the book. and he'll take that into account and then go away and write like a synopsis or with a page breakdown. So just what's going to happen over maybe, a block of 2 pages or 3 pages at a time. And then that's the wrong side. And then I knock those pages up, and I might add story notes where I've taken his synopsis of the plot, and I've gone, oh right, I really like this. I want to, add in some humour there, or a particular line that will make reference to the larger universe, and then he'll drop that into the script, and hey presto, we're into editing country. But Rick is doing a fabulous job on this. I'm so pleased with the way all this has worked out. It's it's turning a little bit crazy at the moment. I've been doing work for Outliers for Joe Fulton. So effectively getting edited by, written by Joe and edited by Joe, but at the same time edited by Aaron Sparrow, which is like so cool, because he's a great editor and creator. So it's all just so cool at the moment. Everything's really good. And I've been doing some Doctor Who stuff, some more Doctor Who stuff as well. Panini have contacted me, and I've been doing bits and pieces for them. So it's all good. It's all good. So please excuse the flicking around. I just want to make sure I get this shapes correct. So it's a big casing. The body. I think the head might be slightly too big, but there might be some artistic license there. So we go, just broad shapes at the moment. I'll put in the details of the pencil afterwards. Okay, get these hands drawn up. Probably I might duplicate these hands. It's always good to take reference from real life. So I've got like a library of hands and bits and pieces, but I also just sit and look at my own hands as well. It's always useful. There's a reference model for you right there, right in front of you. Because you keep an awful lot of stuff in your head, like a library of things, of like anatomy or the broad shapes of cars or horses or lampshades, whatever it might be. And you do keep these things in your head, but it's always good, especially with anatomy, to kind of, double take. And with anatomy as well, even more important is posture. So, the weight and posture and position of a character. So in the arms here, he's got like ball sockets, like that's and thin top arms, but really big forearms. So we can do something like that. And I can just take that. When you can only do this if it's fortunate that you're looking for the same kind of arm position as you are on the other side. It works in this case. Most of the time, it doesn't actually work so well because it's obvious you've just duplicated it over, and that's not the way bodies work. But this works fine for this particular purpose, especially since I'm going to tilt it slightly as well. It won't remain straight up like this, but I'll wait until I've done the top of the jets before I do that. So I've got these jet things here. So I can quite happily, I think I might take that up actually. Visually it might look nice if it's a bit more imposing. So take that up to there. I didn't put the jets on the figures on the front of the cover because I didn't want it to take up as much room. I took some artistic license for that. But that's okay. Don't want to give it all away on a cover, do you? And if I just flip over there, that's fine. Okay. Right, so if I merge all that, one layer, here we go. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to tilt that. Ooh. So it's just slightly more interesting angle. Now, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to see of him once I'm done. I certainly won't see too much detail. It'll all be in silhouette underneath. And I'll just put the basic shapes in there. So most of that's going to be covered by hair. So I don't actually think, there you go. So that you might see a little bit there, a little bit there. But they would be in silhouette because I'd want her to stand out because she's going to be in front. So there we go. If I now pick up another layer and draw her in. Now her hair is obviously free flowing at this point, so all I need to do is know where the top of the head is. I don't need to put in any detail as far as anatomy is concerned. I just need to know where it is and then key from that as to where her hair is going from. And much like I was saying before, it's got like this free flow to it, so that that white streak It's coming off there. And there'll be some other white streaks, but I'll do that in the detail. I just want to make sure I've got the basics in the right place. So that's a collar. It's got a hood coming down in here. That's now flopped all the way down. There's some little overhang seams on a jacket. And the most important thing is the hand. So it's a cuff with a button. And then we'll just go to the hand. I tend to find these, like I was saying about having a library of things in your head, the easy things like fingers outstretched, that's something that's fairly easy to keep in your head. Roughly where the fingers sit, compared to each other. There you go. Put that guy back on, and yeah, we're not going to see much. There's going to be a bit of silhouette there, and nowhere else really. So I can quite happily get rid of all that now. There we go. Right. Okay, now, so what I'm going to do now is I'll just flip it all. There we go. I'll put the whole lot up. Flip the whole folder. And then bring it down. Take that out. And now I'm ready to start giving it texture. Making it feel the way I want it to feel. Let's have a quick look. Oh, good Lord. Lots of people. Hi, Peter. How you doing? So good to see you. Good to hear you are busy, Peter. Oh, and sorry, Bad. I didn't realise you'd been ill. Hope you're feeling better soon. Good. Getting on top of it now. Good stuff. Oh, Vera Sam. Hello. Thank you for dropping by. Yep. Okay. Not an awful lot said. That's fine. I'll just get back on. Drink some more whiskey. Mm-hmm. There's some closing on her face. So go for a new layer. So effectively, because I'm now inking all of these traditionally, I've been very careful with my current pencils. Because I'm getting used to that traditional inking process. And I'm not quite confident enough to kind of let myself go with an ink brush or a brush pen just yet. I'd really like to get to a point where I'm doing much rougher pencils and then letting myself go with the inks. But that's it's a little way off yet. I think that eye is too far over. That's that bonus of being able to flip it over. Obviously I would do that. I'd look at my traditional pencils in the mirror, but a lot of the time you'd already done a huge amount of work by the time you got to put those pencils up against the mirror. Even if you were doing scamps and traces and what have you on Lightbox, you'd still done, because it's a pain in the ass to get up and down and go and look at the mirror. But you need to do it. So if you're digital penciling or even inking, you can get a really good idea about some of the things your eye is not showing you by flipping the art. And so I do this quite a lot, where I kind of do a layout of how I want the anatomy to work, and broad shapes, and then I might pencil sort of the wrong way around, and then after I've done that, flip it to the correct way around and go over and just check the things that my eye has missed that way round. And what that means is you're kind of double checking yourself just by flipping it and doing the work flipped and unflipped. And that saves a lot of aggro. It also means, if you are doing figures, like dynamic stuff that you can reuse at a later date for marketing or whatever, you can just cut them out and you can flip them. And as long as obviously the costume is correct, you can flip them and do all kinds of stuff with them and know that they're going to work. So for instance, I can't flip D because he's got a shoulder pad on one side and a shoulder cover on the other. But I can flip Chrissy, and I can flip an awful lot of the bad guys as well. So that's her hair going off there. So it's kind of like bundling into the hood, her hair. I think I'm going to bring that further this way. That's the other thing, is Control Z is your friend. That's going off the bottom of the panel, so it doesn't matter. So it's not black in there. Okay, right, that works. Get onto a hand next, I suppose. Boom, 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 boom. Sorry, I should have been saying something. There was radio silence there for a second. I was reading comments. Retene et Ojod. Enter the dojo backwards, I presume. Yeah. Wow. Thank you. So good that you're getting back. Good that you're getting back. Good that you are getting back. It's just always something that you miss. It's the same for me, whether it's drawing or karate. I hate it when I'm without it. And for the longest time, I went without drawing. In some ways, I don't know how I did it. I just don't know how I did it. I had another business. In 2000, I started a business with two other guys. We were in an agency, and we decided we could do it better ourselves, so we did, and we did do it better ourselves. And I was art directing and designing and all that kind of stuff, but I was also starting to get involved with coding, creating internet sites, and also quite big stuff. I did the first European online library for Sony for their products, and before that I was involved in producing their product range brochures as well. So they have crap teeth, don't they? So it was all kinds of different stuff. But I was in I was in the agency, and we decided we could do a better job. We went off and worked for leisure companies and all kinds of other companies actually. And I did a lot of GUI design, graphical user interface design, bit of graphic design, and I did some Flash games and coding for data retrieval systems, and the design of the interfaces for those systems as well. But eventually that kind of came to an end. It was a natural end. It was one of those things that we decided we'd had enough, and the companies we were working for were doing different things. I think one of them had bought someone who produced a similar system to us and all the rest of it. So it was a natural end. It was the way it worked. And after that, I decided, in 2010, I thought, no, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to try and get my hand in and get back to drawing. And I'd done a few bits and pieces. So in the time from 2000 to 2008-9, I'd drawn a couple of sort of commissions for people, but nothing major. And while I was working for the agency up until 99, 2000, so from 1990 to then, I'd submitted to Marvel, and they said that they liked my work and were going to, pass it around editors and what have you. But I didn't end up getting any work from that, and so I kind of gave up drawing. I just stopped doing it. But a couple of times, when I did the commissions or when somebody actually asked me to draw something comic strippy, I'd find that I'd come back to the board and I'd improved. What I didn't realize is that my draftsmanship hadn't improved. I'd simply grown up a bit each time in between coming back to the board. So I was that much more mature, and could appreciate what I could do and what I could see that much better. And then when I went to try out for comics again in 2010, I realized just how much I didn't know, and just how naive I was being about the business, but about my own abilities and all the rest of it. And it took me all that time. I mean, I had Kirby comics when I was a kid, and I had Mike Mignola comics in the 90s because I liked the characters that he drew, and I think he did a Batman as well. Gotham by Gaslight, I think that was him. Anyway, I kind of appreciated it in a kind of a very broad comic book way. But it wasn't until I started really looking up different styles of artwork, 2010 onwards, that I had my Kirby moment. And I realized why Kirby was a genius. It suddenly struck me why he was such a damn genius. And then I started appreciating the kind of work that had made me love comics when I was a kid. So John Buscema, Stalin, Romita, Stan Lee's stupid scripts. Well, tongue-in-cheek, let's call them. I just loved everything about that kind of work, and realized that's kind of really where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. But it did open my eyes to different styles and to appreciate so many different ways of drawing comics. And I think that directly led to me, improving. It directly led to my styles. I have a couple of styles. I've got the one I've got here is my main style, and that's been evolving constantly. This book, compared to Only Death Can Save Us 1, will look slightly different from Only Death Can Save Us 1. There is a bit of meta to it. So the first one was very sort of 6-panel grid focused, Kirby orientated, bit of Buscema thrown in there. This is a bit more Jim Starlin and sort of 80s sort of cosmic Marvel, that kind of stuff. So there's a bit more texture involved in the way that I'm drawing, but it's my own style that's developing all this time. But then I've got a couple of other simpler styles that I use, and often do that for kids stuff that I do. So I worked on Ben 10, and that was a particular kind of style. I had to follow the show, but I developed my own way of doing things there, and I've done some other bits and pieces. And then there's the style that I used in Doctor Who Adventures. That was slightly simpler as well, although by the time I got to the end of Doctor Who Adventures, I was kind of just drawing whatever I wanted to draw. So the point being is you're constantly developing, constantly adding to the library in the head, constantly adding to the skill sets, constantly adding to the effects that you put in to the drawings that you create. So what is it? We're 5-2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this guy's face. I think it's very likely to be lit. So I've already had a there. I think I'm revealing him, so it's going to just be a plain light. Maybe a little bit from the left. No, right. I'll go a little bit from the right. If you're drawing digitally, if you're going to ink traditionally afterwards, this wouldn't be as much of a problem, but you don't want to get in too close. If you're digitally inking, it's not an issue at all, but when it gets out to being printed, you don't want the detail to be too fine anyway, so you must be very careful about how close you go in whilst producing digitally. A lot of people go over the board with it, and the detail gets lost anyway in the final print. Nothing wrong. I mean, obviously you do what you think is right for your book or your art or whatever you're doing. Just saying that is a real thing, that you can over detail things, and it's especially easy to do when you're doing it digitally. Not so easy to do when you're doing it traditionally. When I'm digital penciling like this, I tend to go in 60, 65 at most. The only reason I'm going in and doing that is because the pencil there's not as much dexterity, and that's not the pencil itself, it's just the resolution on the screen. So sometimes you just need to flip in just that little bit closer, but again, you don't want to overdo it because you're just putting too much detail and you won't be able to replicate that. And if you're doing if you're inking traditionally over them over the pencils, then you'll never be able to replicate it anyway because it'll just be too fine. So you want to make sure you don't do too much of that. But like I say, there's no real hard and fast rules. It's what you get out of it that counts. Okay, right. I had sharp teeth on him, but they don't have sharp teeth, so I'm just gonna put in some really dodgy, crappy teeth. Yuck. I think I'll have one missing as well, just there. And need his bottom lip. So So I may need to extend his chin as well. Yeah. I think I'm going to just take it down that little bit further. He does look a nasty piece of work. Okay. Redo that. That's better. Okay, let's have a quick look at that eye. So that's a fully round. I think another sup. Whiskey's in order. I think that's better off running over to the right there. Casting a shadow as well. My super cool ASMR music has stopped. But that's okay because I'm very close to finishing now. I think I'm going to want that in shadow there. There we go. Just a few bits and bobs there. Yeah, I like the look of that. Its head might be a little bit too big, but I think I'm going to go with that. Right. I think that's close to me done there. Can have a quick look at what I did with this page. Before I do that, I'll just have a quick check to see is there anyone else here. No. Oh, there's loads of. There we go. When I was in my teens, I got way into Todd style. Yeah, like everyone else. Still behind. There's still some of the Todd fathers in. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Thump, thump, thump. Yeah, that's cool. A character whose body is heavily scarred. Mm-hmm. Scar chart. That's cool. A scar chart. Yes, Pete, I am at 7:30. I seem to have faltered. Probably because I'm not doing any videos. I'm just doing these live videos, live streams on a Monday night. And then I tend to go over to Indie Vault, who you should be going over and seeing. They're desperate to have you on. And obviously I do a show with Joe as well on Thursdays. So I don't get a lot of time to make videos. What I am going to do is I'm going to go back through these live streams and do speed them up with actually, obviously, without my ugly mug on them, so you can just see how the art progresses. So if I just take you through this, so there's this the final job there. Oops. So there's this that's the layout that I showed you in here, which is effectively the light stuff here. So it's kind of like a middle level of work, and that's the original thumbnail there, and that's the final pencils. And I've realised now that his eye is the wrong way around, so I'm going to have to redo that, but that's all right. It took me no time at all. So if I just save that out, and hopefully I'll be getting the colours to this from Mike tomorrow, and I can put up the sign up page. Although obviously my real focus is on those people that bought the first book. I'd love them to get the second book, and anybody who did buy the first book will be getting. I'll show this every time because it's such a gorgeous piece of art. They will be getting a Preston Acevedo print. That's free to anyone. It will be available to buy for those people who haven't bought the book first time round, but this will effectively go out to anybody who bought the book on the first time, or backed the book on the first time out. And for the first 200 backers, whoever they may be, they'll get this as a print as well, which is a recreation of the Arrow Comics issue 2 cover that I drew, and Ink Spots put this together. I absolutely love this. This is great. And we've got some 6 a.m. comics, so some chibi stuff, which I'll be putting probably on fridge magnets again. And obviously the book itself, and the whole book, all the art from the book will be traditional. So they will all be available for people to buy. And of course, I'll be doing commissions again as well. So that's for book 2. That will be... The campaign for that will be starting in October 1, hopefully. I'm pretty sure it'll be October 1. And the delivery will be March 2022. So it's only just 6 months turnaround, which is pretty much the same as what it was last year with book 1. Hopefully I can get to a point where I can turn around quicker than that. But at the moment, that's roughly the time, about 5-6 months. Most of that is down to the fact that there's so much going into it, because it will now this time be a 66-page story, and there will be a 7-page backup story about war, and another 30 pages on top of that of fact file / world building storytelling. So the whole book is story. Also, the extra pages that I've put together for the first 3 Arrow Comics serialization, that will also be in there, so people can see exactly what's going on. So you're probably looking at about 110 pages this time, but there'll be no behind the scenes or background stuff. This time it's all story from, or story generation from beginning to end, and that's going to be over 100 pages this time. So there's a lot more going into the book this time round. So actually to turn it around from now until February next year, I think is a reasonable time, and it's not going to be the only thing I'm working on in that time. So that's really cool. There's just so much going on. I can't tell you an awful lot about it at the moment, but there's good stuff going on. So that's it from me tonight. I will say thank you again. Oh, this is what we want to see. Thank you very much. Yes, and Darren, thank you very much. But Bog Book 2, Big Book Big book 2. Yeah. Book 2 will be bogger and better than book 1. And certainly lots in there. I can show you I'll show you one more piece before I go. This is from some of the backup world building stuff. So open that up. So this is one of the images from there. So this has text over the top, and it talks about the characters that you can see in this particular image and what their importance is to the universe and the worlds that Dee and Chrissy are part of. And let's just open up an old friend. This is a particular page that talks about Satana and his place in that process. There are several pages about Satana and the Horde. There's stuff about how the Horde was created. There's stuff about the Eternal Titans, which are characters that have a place in the cosmic story. There are races and worlds where battles took place, which is kind of what this one is kind of about. And it takes you through extra lore of the Only Death Can Save Us universe, if you like. So there'll be lots of that kind of stuff, and it's going to be packing the book out, and it's not going to stop. It's going to continue. I actually planned out a very, very, very simple plan of kind of what's going on for books 4, 5, and 6, and then what would happen after that. So that's already in my mind as to where that would go. So the idea is that this goes on for an awful long time, and hopefully people enjoy the story. So I'm off now. It's very late. It's 12:15 here, and I need to go and get some beauty sleep because my mug is ugly enough as it is. Oh, Todd, you just turned up. Good to see you, though. Good to see you, Todd. You are always welcome. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Darren. Hey, Todd. So that's it for me tonight. If you're watching the replay of this, thank you. Okay. And if you are watching that replay, why not give the channel a subscribe, because that really helps. You can find out more about me at russleach.com or comicbookblackbelt.com. Find out about the book at onlydeathcansavus.com. You can also go to Liberty Entertainment and pick up the first issue of the serialization through Arrow Comics 4.0. And you can find out more about that over on Indie Vault. You can see me on a Thursday with Joe Fulton and hanging out at Indie Vault on occasion. And you can find me on the Twitter and the Facebook and the Instagram and mine's as well. But I don't post nearly as much as I should because I'm too busy drawing this stuff. So thank you to everyone who's turned up. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Bad Ham. Thank you, Peter. Wow, Peter. That's it's like having royalty in the room. Thank you to, there were more people here. Vera Sam. Thank you, Vera Sam. And I think that was it. I think I got everybody. Once again, thanks for the chat. Thanks to everybody for turning up. If you're watching this on a replay or if you're watching this from the chat, thank you so much for taking the time to sit and watch me draw and listen to me blather on. It means an awful lot. Thanks very much. I will see you all again very soon. I'll be back next Monday, and we'll have another night in the dojo. Take care. See you then. Bye-bye.